Nice to see you today.
Thanks for coming in today.
Oh, I'm happy to be here, and thank you for inviting us in.
So the Collierville citizens, they want to know who you are and what's special and unique about you, because this is a big decision, this new school board, and it's really important for Collierville.
It is very important for Collierville, and I have been a resident of Collierville for almost 35 years. Came here when my oldest was starting as a freshman at Collierville High School.
We're going to go in here.
And have been here since then and raised 4 children here.
So was this Collierville High School, this building here back then?
This was Collierville High School. I actually had my 4 children in this building as high schoolers. And then since then, I've had 2 grandchildren to come through here as middle schoolers. So this is a very familiar building to me. And during those years that I've been here, I came in '78, and in 1980, I started teaching at Collierville Elementary, which then, Collierville Elementary was the only elementary school in our town. And since that time, I spent 15 years at Collierville Elementary. When Terra Oaks opened, I moved there, and I spent my last 16 years there. I just retired in May of 2011 from Terra Oaks. So I feel like I bring that to the table as an educator, and not only an educator, but an educator who has been in the town of Collierville, that I feel like I know the parents, I know the expectations of our parents, I know the inside working of a school on a day-to-day basis. I know what our children are facing each day. I know what our administrators and our teachers and our complete staff is facing every day. And I feel like that on this board, we need diversity. I think we need different people with different ideas from different places in our community, because we can all bring ideas to the table. And I think that is the way for us to start building our municipal school district into the best it can be. And we're going to have to really work hard to do that, because it's already a great school system because of the parents and the businesses in this town and our entire community. I've never seen a town that so supports the schools, and that has been true of the 31 years I've been here.
That's great. Now, with your knowledge of, your intense knowledge of the existing school system, do you have any ideas or things that you'd like to see changed, where you say, you know what, if I'm on the school board, you know, I think this and this and this need to be changed, because this is, and these are the reasons why. Do you have any ideas like that? Or?
Well, I think that Shelby County Schools has been a really good system. I think we've had great superintendents to lead us, and a school board that has supported that superintendent and the teachers and students there. If I would say one thing that really I would like to see changed at this time would maybe to have a little bit more input from our teachers, because I know today education is changing so much for the students and for the teachers, and there is tremendous stress right now with those teachers and with our students. And to me, as a teacher who I have a passion for that, and I think your best teachers have a passion for education, and I want to see us to work to put that passion and that joy of teaching back with our teachers.
You mentioned about the superintendent. That's going to be a big decision for the new board in picking a new superintendent. And I imagine the finalists, the 3, 4 finalists, they're all going to have good resumes, have experience and knowledge and so forth. Is there anything right now where, as you look at 3 qualified candidates, that you'd be attracted to in particular, from one over the other? You'd be looking for this. What would this be?
I would like to see a superintendent who, number one, that I can look at him and say, you know, that is a man with real integrity. I would like to see a superintendent who has shown leadership skills, because it's so important. It starts at the top. It starts with our superintendent. And I think then, finally, I would like to have a superintendent who is knowledgeable and who has worked in the field, that he can have a vision and help lead this new municipality in the way that it needs to go, so that we truly will be a school of excellence, and everybody's going to want to come and live in Collierville and be a part of our schools.
There's going to be some controversy on the school board.
Yes.
People have different opinions, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually healthy. But in a situation like that, where there's some conflict, there's different opinions, how do you lead in that kind of situation? Different people have different leadership styles. What would be your style?
Well, I think in those situations that we have to come together as a group of 5, we put our ideas on the table. We all discuss those ideas and bring to the table why we think it is the best idea. And then through collaboration and give and take, we form together what is the best policies for our school district. As teachers, we've always had to work together, because everyone can't have and do their own idea. So that's part of being a group, and a school board is going to be a group, and I hope it's a group that we're very cohesive and that we're willing to listen to each other and appreciate what each brings to the board and make good decisions.
Mm-hmm. It's going to take a lot of work to get the school board off the ground. You have any idea about how many hours a week it's going to take?
I think it's probably that first year especially going to take lots of time. I can foresee spending 25 and 30 hours a week at least the first few months. And the wonderful thing is I am retired now, and so I feel like I have the time to dedicate to this school board and to making our schools, helping them build to be the best they can be. And I want to do this for our kids. I want to do this for the parents. I want to do this for the community. I am vested in education, and I feel like I can be a help on this school board.
Have you had much experience over the years with the school superintendent? I mean, have you learned a lot in your mind about what a good school superintendent is?
Well, over 30 years and having to work with the policies that are coming down from those superintendents, that I could say that today, the one we have in John Akins, you know, I would be very happy to have one just like him to come in and lead us. That he's truly a leader. He's a man who listens. I don't care if you are a first-year teacher or a 30-year teacher. If you need him, he's going to have the time to listen to you. And I want a superintendent who is vested in the school district, cares what's happening with the students who are number one, and with that faculty and staff, and to be a part of our community, to be vested in our whole community here.
4 years from now, when the school board looks back, or you look back individually, how would success or failure be defined?
Success for me would be that we have lost none of what we have today in our schools, but that we have added more to those schools in maybe academic classes, AP classes, that we have succeeded and that the rest of Tennessee looks and says, you know what, I want to go there. When the people start coming to Collierville, we know that we have been a success, and that's what I see. I see everybody wanting to come and be a part of Collierville because I think we will have the best schools in Shelby County and right up there at the top of the state.
Well, that's great. Tell us, what would you do if you're elected and a year from now somebody comes up to you in the grocery store and says, little Sally's unhappy in the 8th grade. She doesn't like her teacher, and I met the teacher and I don't like the teacher. And I voted for you, and now I want you to do something about it. What would you do?
Well, as a teacher, you often
you've
have
heard
to.
this before.
I've heard this before. I've absolutely heard this before. And we have to be willing to listen to parents, because I have always tried in my teaching career to always remember that those parents, those children, are their treasures. So I think I would have a listening ear, and I would try to work to make that parent happy. But in life, we have to make choices, and as I tell my own children in school, you're not always going to love the person that you're with for that year, but everyone has value. You need to find those good qualities, and that's also a part of life. We have to, in a day-to-day situation, be able to live and work with those that may not be our very best friends. Mm-hmm. And teachers, all of us as a teacher, not everyone's going to love me. But I do the best I can, and I know the other teachers do the best they can every day for each child they have, because I think teachers are not teaching unless they have a love for kids and education and what they can do to help them.
Are there educational issues that the board will face that are sort of style-like? And I'm asking you because you're a teacher. Is there a fad now in teaching that is good or bad? And is there another fad coming down the road? And what do fads look like in your mind? And tell us a little bit about that from a teacher's perspective.
And fads do come and go. What's in today may be out 5 years from now. And I think the big push is right now that we are testing. And that is, I think, an issue. But you know what? That's state mandated. We have to live within the policies that come down through the state. So I see that being an issue that is being addressed actually now. I also know that the new evaluation system for the teachers has been very stressful for them, and I've had several to ask me about that. And again, that's not Shelby County, so it's not going to be Collierville Municipal District. That is state mandated. So what I would hope is that we could learn to work within those policies, but bring to the table and do all that we can to help take some of the stress out of our school system, so that there can be a joy in those classrooms. Because there is, but I know when I walk in today, there's some stress there. And you know what? Children can learn, and learn with joy in their hearts. And I think that's the best way to learn. You know, oftentimes I would stand and say, because I taught 5th grade math my last few years, and I'd be at that board and I was working and I'd look at my kids and I'd say, don't you just love math? Because we need those teachers who care and have that enthusiasm for teaching. So I hope that we can work within the state policies that we have, but do it in such a way that our children are learning all they need to learn and that our teachers are happy to be there each day.
I think some voters watching this would say, boy, it's a great strength for you to have a sense of context, and that'd be great on the board. Other voters might look and wonder, well, yeah, that's good, but I wonder if Wanda's going to be an advocate for teachers. How would you answer a concern like that?
I'm first going to be an advocate for our children and their education, because I think all of our children, not just in Collierville, but all over our country, they should be afforded the opportunity to have the best education that they possibly can have, so that we are preparing them as young adults to go out into the world, that whether it is they are leaving high school and not going on to further their education, then we need to have them prepared to go out into the workforce. If they're going on, which most of them are, but if they're going on to higher education, we need to have them prepared for that. So to be an advocate for teachers, my order would be, I am for the children. I want what's best for every child who walks through that classroom door. I am for their education and they're having the best they can. And am I going to listen to teachers? Of course I am, but I hope that any board member would listen to a teacher, because they are they are the heart and soul, along with those children, of our schools. So I feel like, yes, that children first, their education, and the teachers, but I'm going to be an advocate for our parents. As I said earlier, I know parents, those children, they're their treasures. And I always try to remember that, that, you know what, we all love our children. And I hope I can bring that to the table and to serve all that are involved in the school systems, which goes the whole community.
Okay, well, look, we appreciate you being willing to be a public servant and to run for this office. And thank you for coming by today.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed it. Thank you.